Steeler Nation Vidcast, Steeler Nation Colorcast. Just watch the Cincinnati Bengals line up here in overtime. 49-yard field goal. The kick is up. The kick is no good. The game is still going on. Mason Crosby evidently has missed 3 field goals or 3 kicks here at the end of regulation and in overtime. Nobody can kick anything. They're just kicking each other's butts, unfortunately. Yeah, but I don't know what is going on in that game. Craziness. But at least the Steelers finally win. And it's been a while since the Pittsburgh Steelers have been in the win column, so it was nice to get a win today, but I'm still kind of pissed off at the fact that, you know, the Steelers, every time they start looking like world beaters, everybody gets injured. And that happened again today. You had Najee Harris, who had his first 100-yard game, putting together an amazing, amazing game, goes out, hurts himself, hurts his calf. They tried to treat it like it was a cramp. They tried to come back into the game and play. He immediately came back out after his first time running the ball again. So I'm thinking it's a little bit more significant than a cramp. I wish it was a cramp, but if he's coming out like that, the way he's torquing on that, it's got to be some kind of muscle pull. We've got Bush going down yet again for the second time. And it just seems like it's insult to injury with his groin. Don't know if it's his groin again. They said it was a leg injury. That seems to be what it's been. That's honestly seems to be what's been going on. And here he's got Colton Gesser joining the show as well. I'm going to be adding him here to the cast. Hey, Colton, how you been?
Great, man. Nice little win here to finish off the weekend. Can't be happier. And I don't know if you saw the Bengals missed a field goal and the kicker celebrated like they made it. So I mean, that on top of it was great. So hopefully they lose here to make it even better. So
the only equivalent to that in sports is when a player in the NHL shoots and thinks they scored a goal and they throw their arms up. They're like, yeah, and then the goalie's like, no, it's in my glove. That's like the only equation that I can say that's even like that. Gabe Gotti, how you doing, baby? Let's go, Najee. Yeah, man, it's a crazy, crazy, crazy game. I'm glad. I mean, I am excited for the win. Don't get me wrong. I was just kind of like, watching this game was like, I felt like I was watching it in a fog. It was just like, yeah, Steelers were up, but then, you know, things started coming apart on the wheels. A big long pass here made 3 for 3 on 4th downs, get a touchdown. Okay, they're down by 2 now. Okay. But they got to put a couple long drives together because we're not going to leave up the deep play. And then, bam, Pierre. Oh, I screwed up. I screwed the pooch. Oh, no, not again. It got over my head. Oh, there's a touchdown. No. James Pierre, man, he could have played a little bit better on that up and go. But, you know, Bridgewater was making the right reads, and they had a couple good pass route combinations going off, especially that one on 4th down where they did the short, where both Schobert and the other guy on the outside came up on the play and then kind of hit the over-the-top play, which ended up being wide open. So, I mean, it's, you know, of course, Steelers are expecting a short pass on 4th and 2. So, didn't happen there. He made the right read, and it was a damn good bit. Good ball.
And to be fair, on that deep ball, to be fair, I thought Pierre actually had pretty good coverage. If you watch, he stumbled a little bit. And I think on the stumble, I think Sutton might have got like a little veteran, like a little hand check there to get just a little bit of space for him. And because if you watch it, he was kind of there the whole way with him. So, and he made a big play to clearly finish off for the Steelers. So good for Pierre. And honestly, probably the tackle of the game on Javonte Williams, because my goodness, that was huge. Holding him for 3 because of a delay of game penalty, a Bush sack, and the defense held him. That was going to be a walk-in touchdown. And you've seen a lot of players give up on plays like that. Like, he walks into the end zone. You're not going to get him. Why even try to tackle him? You're just going to miss. And he got him, stopped him at the 1, and huge play that goes really underrated in this game.
Yeah. And, you know, I'll tell you, too, at least – well, Gabe's at least letting us know, too, what's going on. The Bengals – or Green Bay's got the ball back. They got a first down. They're in field goal range. I'm not sure really what field goal range is right now, Gabe, the way that Crosby's been kicking today. I mean, are they at the 3-yard line? Then maybe they're in field goal range.
Pretty much. It's just what it has to be.
Yeah, but we'll have to see. Keep us posted, though. We definitely want to see that. and know what happens in that Green Bay Cincinnati matchup. Yeah, right. But yeah, so coming back to the game, I'm just upset again that we're looking like world beaters, and now all of a sudden we've got more injuries lining up. Juju Smith-Schuster getting wrecked. Looked like they said shoulder, but it could also be an elbow, and it might be a break. I'm hoping it's not a break, but if you're talking about a separation or an AC joint sprain or an AC joint, AC joints or collarbone, right where it connects. Up
That's
here
what I
closer.
think. I think it's up there because if you watch that play, he drops his shoulder down, and that dude hit him hard. That man came up with some speed and rocked him. It looked like right on that shoulder. I didn't think it was a break in the arm because if it was, that man hit him that hard. I thought that arm would be hanging off. Where if you're holding it up, you're going to see clearly something's not right. So I think it's shoulder. I hope that's the case. So hopefully it's thankful the bye's coming up, and hopefully it's not too long for Juju.
Yeah, and we got Devin Bush yet again with that leg that he's been trying to play in that groin. He's been getting better and better every game. And then now it's like, it just keeps shooting himself in the foot, so to speak. Which first down are they reviewing there, Gabe? Is it the one that you're talking about earlier, or they got another first down?
No, they're reviewing one right now. It looks like it was a third down play.
Okay.
And they're looking to review it. I guess they have, the marker at the 31 of the Bengals, so they would be in field goal range, so to speak. But I don't.
But this is what I root for when we hit overtime in professional football. I think overtime rules in professional football are the worst overtime rules in any professional sport. Just because there's no declared winner immediately for doing something good, unless this person does this thing, like maybe a safety or something. Okay, if they get a safety or touchdown, okay, the game's over. Right? Field goal, no, the game's not over. It's a field goal. We're still going to keep the game going. And what are we going to do? We don't want 15 minutes overtime. Let's drop it down to 10 minutes. So now they have multiple positions with 10 minutes. I want more ties than anything else. It's just, and anytime you have a tie at the end of a game, it just tells you how bad your rules are. Because at least the NHL figured it out. They figured out how to get rid of ties in the regular season. They figured out how to of course, like they've always known how to get rid of ties in playoffs. You just keep playing until one of you guys win.
Yeah.
What's so wrong about that?
It's just hard though. It was really dumb giving the offense like all the shake. If you get the ball first, you get a field goal, you winning it. I thought that was really dumb, and I think they want to keep it at 10 minutes so the guys aren't getting hurt. You don't want to give again. It sounds dumb. It's an extra 5 minutes, but I think it makes a lot of sense so you don't have any injuries because it's a tough game.
And for me though, I'd rather just have them go to an augmented college rule, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
So, I think the college rule is super exciting for fantasy players. You're going to get more touchdowns, more points. I mean, it's a win-win for everybody. Green Bay's there facing a 31 4th and inches, I guess, for a 49-yard field goal. Going for it, or are they not?
Yeah, they're going for it. I'm not really too surprised on that because the
way he's been kicking.
Crosby can't kick anything. So, oh God, hopefully they win. And geez Louise.
Crosby.
Yeah, overall Steelers game. I mean, geez, it's Ben. Ben looked great from a lot of criticism last week. The guy came out and played. He played great today. Made some throws. It was kind of weird not seeing Deontay Johnson more involved after that deep ball.
Yeah.
Then they got him involved on that last drive that led up to that Boz field goal, which was really nice to see. And Claypool back and clearly looked healthy today.
Nice. Yeah, Claypool looked like a monster today. Honestly, I thought he jumped off the page. A couple big deep balls. I think he was over 100 yards. He had to have been. I know it was.
Yeah,
close
he was.
to
I think
it.
120.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. That's good that we at least had a good amount of yardage going on there. 2-minute warning, and then Green Bay will attempt a 49-yard field goal. They have 2-minute warnings in overtime. My gosh.
Yeah.
How freaking annoying is that? I hate overtime rules. I don't know. I might be on my own there, but I do. Yeah, Harris was on fire, Gabe. I'm with you there. I mean, geez. Finally, and I thought the interesting stat, which they did throw up during the game, was to this point this year, Denver Broncos have not allowed a running back to get 60 yards. And conversely, the Steelers haven't had a running back get 60 yards yet. And then you have this game where finally the blocking looked like it was starting to do what it should be doing. It was getting push at the line of scrimmage. It was creating some holes. Harris was hitting the holes hard, and he was doing the tough things that needed to be done to get some extra yardage after the hit. Spinning off of people, making himself small, going sideways, scooting across the ground.
Field goal's good.
Field goal, finally, hey, the monkey's off of Crosby's back. That only means they're not going to fire Crosby this week. If he didn't win the game, they probably would have fired him. That's because that's tough when your field goal kicker gets the yips, but to get the yips like that to come back and still be able to win it in overtime, they'll hang with their kicker and they'll go on for another week. And I think, didn't they state he only missed like 3 field goals all year last year? And I think he already missed 3 in this game.
Yeah, he's been really good. So I think they're going to stick with him. I think, I don't know. It looked like it was a little bit windy because Bengals kicker's kick flew wide left when he missed his. Actually looked good. Oh my God, he got it. And then it was like a late burst of one. It was like, yeah, no, not happening. So it happens. It's a good kicker. So I just don't see him getting let go. But Harris looked good. I know we kind of talked in our group chat that the way he kept stretching it out, man. I hope it's nothing serious. You didn't see them right at the end. I don't know if that's precautionary or what. Hopefully Tillman clears that up the next few days here, what's going on with Harris, because he was dominant. And again, hats off to the line. The line played great. You didn't hear Von Miller's name very often today. So hats off to Chooks. I know he had a few false starts trying to get a little head start on him, which you can't really blame him. He's playing one of the best rushers in football in Von Miller. But the line did great. I mean, clearly Harris running all over them proves that point exactly that they played that good. So
So but you never know how it's going to go moving forward with the injury. I did some athletic training. We diagnosed injuries as part of our class when we were learning how to treat people and just learning how to diagnose injuries and then treat them after the diagnosis, because you're trying to do it as quickly as possible when you're on the field. But it's not a good sign when they rub down his calf, he goes back in the game, and he comes back out. Usually that's something a little bit more serious than just a cramp. I mean, I'm hoping it's just a delayed cramp that just wouldn't leave, but it's usually something more underlying, like he tweaked something within his calf muscle somewhere, which I'm hoping isn't the case, because that would be the absolute worst. And we've got
no, what were you going to say, G?
Oh, I was just going to say, at least with the Cincinnati game, with Cincinnati losing, the Steelers are now 1 game behind the Bengals. Justin Herbert is good. I know they're playing the Cleveland Browns now, and Browns and Chargers, starting with Cleveland up 3-0. Gabe's letting us know too here in the chat. So it'll be interesting to see if the Steelers can gain some more ground here on the Cleveland Browns against the Chargers, and then who knows, the Colts might figure out a way to win in Baltimore, but I'm not holding my breath on that one.
Yeah, I ain't counting that one, but it's really interesting, and I said it a lot in our group chat. McFarland to this offense is going to be really interesting. I think he's going to be something that's a difference maker, the way how explosive he is. I think the Steelers are going to really find ways to get him the football, and I'm excited now. I know he's been back at practice, so hopefully he's possibly back this week. See how practice goes. I know Tom will know we'll see how practice goes to show how their availability will be for this weekend. So we'll hear our Tomlinism there with that. But I think McFarland might bring a difference to this offense as well. Hopefully, again, Harris is okay. Benny Snell ran hard. You got to put him in the right positions to make plays. And when he's not involved in the passing game, he's good. He's going to make some plays in the run game for you. And he did there on that last drive. I'd like to see a little bit more Kalen Ballage personally. Mm-hmm. I thought he played a little bit. I thought he played fun when he was in there. He had one run. I thought he missed the wrong hole. He bounced to the outside of Zach Gentry instead of going inside. I get the linebacker was there, but I'll take 3 yards instead of losing a yard. So hopefully I don't know if that was just trying to make a play since he's not on the field a ton because of Harris or what that was. But sometimes you got to take the yards that's there instead of trying to be a little too much.
Yeah, and I was just looking at the insights here on the game. Since 2018, the Steelers are 18-0-1 when rushing for 100-plus yards. The only team without a loss in such games. So goes to show you the Steelers, if you want to win football games, you got to get 100 yards rushing. Also have 69
They got to run the
takeaways.
ball.
Yeah.
They got to run the ball, and they did well today. It's back-to-back weeks where the line looked really good. They looked good against Green Bay last week. They should have ran the ball more last week, so I don't know if that was a point of emphasis this week where they gave Harris the ball a ton.
Yeah.
23 carries. Seriously, when was the last time you seen a Steelers running back have 23 carries?
Yeah.
You're going to have to do some digging to find a running back with that many carries for the Steelers, to be honest, and the way their offense has been the past few seasons. So that was nice to see. Good to get his first career 100-yard game for Harris. And the explosiveness. I mean, geez, you ever see Connor lift off in the end zone to get over the top? No.
Right.
We've seen Henry do it. You see all those like elite backs do it. Barkley, those guys. Zeke. Now we got one, and he made a play. And it was a big one for the Steelers.
And that's a great point, because that is an advantage, because to have a running back with that kind of explosiveness to be able to get up that high in the air, it's something we haven't seen in a long time. I'm trying to remember our last real over the top running back we had, because like Bettis more like went through people. He wasn't an over the top guy. Same thing with Fast Willie Parker. He was more of a speed guy. He wasn't really jumping over the top much, like leaving his feet much like that what this guy did. Franco, I remember, would go up and over. Abercrombie would go up and over, but that was back in the league where everybody had to go up and over to get over the goal line. That's a while ago.
Yeah, he's just different. Just having one of those elite backs is special, and you saw how special he was today. Hopefully he's going to be good and special enough for us next week. Hopefully he's good enough. Hopefully we get some good news regarding what was going on with him, because he didn't look right there late in the fourth.
Right. But at least I'm glad Ben was able to get back in the game. The thing that scared the shit out of me, man, was when he like grabbed his forearm right up here again, and then he was going like this, and that's exactly what he did when his tendons ruptured in that game, and he was like trying to shake it out. So I was hoping it was more of like when he came down on that helmet, he might have hit his funny bone on it, and I'm hoping that was it, because in that game he ended up getting more like, because the first time it happened, he thought he had his funny bone because one of his tendon popped. He kept playing on it, then his second tendon popped. Tried to keep playing through the end of the half, his third tendon popped. And it's like, I'm hope that's not one of his freaking repaired tendons popping, because then obviously he's done forever.
Yeah, I think he had plenty of zip on the ball. He didn't really go back to it. I think he hit his hand early in the game. It looked like on a helmet.
Yes.
That's kind of what the issue was. And he grabbed it. Like I said, he was, like you just said, grabbing the wrist, hand kind of thing. And I think that's what hopefully it was, because I didn't see any issues down the stretch. That ball he zipped into Deontay Johnson, that Johnson took up the seam, that was a missile. And you didn't see any clips of them going to Ben with him holding anything. So I think he's all right. I think it was him hitting his hand and just making sure he's all right, because figure what happened to Russ. Thankful we're not seeing him this week. Hopefully he's back sooner rather than later for Seattle. But same thing. He was throwing the ball and hit Aaron Donald's hand. And, I mean, geez, oh, my gosh, ruptured the tendon in his middle finger. So that was ugly.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a good point, too. It's coming up this week. I mean, we weren't even sure we were going to see Teddy Bridgewater this week. And Teddy Bridgewater is a good quarterback. And I thought he played a lot better than what he showed. I thought both he and Ben had moments where they got lucky that the other team didn't come down with the football. So, oddly enough, the only interception of the game occurred on the last play of the game. So I think that since Ben also, he had a fumble in this game. And I was stating at least basically all this team has to do is not turn the ball over. They're going to win games with the way that this defense is set. And now with having the running game the way it is, and Najee playing the way he's playing, that is set. That is the formula for winning football. And you can win Super Bowls with that formula as long as the quarterback is making enough plays to hold possession, flip the field, score when they can, and don't turn the ball over.
Ray McLeod with another big play. Speaking of not turning the ball over, that tip pass.
Oh, goodness.
By 94, I mean, I said it to I'm sitting there watching with my dad. I'm like, if Ray doesn't hit him, that's a pick. And that's a huge play.
Right. Because it looked like it was settling right in his hands, and since he got hit in the shoulder pad, it kind of like knocked the ball up a little bit more, and he never recovered because he's a lineman. He doesn't know how to track a football. So it's like, hey, where'd my ball go? Where me ball? Me no see ball.
Me no see ball, get ball. Speaking of see ball, get ball, Chargers up 7-3, touchdown pass from Justin Herbert.
Let's go, hey bear. Hey bear. I don't even think he's a French Canadian hockey player. Yo, seen hey bear, I see touchdown. I'm gonna do all my bad impressions today.
You know what? Throw a little different wrinkle in there. Why not? Why not, you? Why not? But yeah, I was really excited. Again, another first drive touchdown. And ironically, Deontay Johnson on the other end of it. And it looked like the same play as last week. It would have looked like the same play over the top of it was last week, Jair Alexander. I forget the corner this week, right over the top, and touchdown. So
and it was a good play. And I thought the best throw and catch of the game, both by the throw by Ben and the catch by Claypool, was that touchdown pass deep down the middle between three defenders, where Claypool went up and showed that he is the big man on campus and went up in between all three of them, came down with that football for the touchdown. It's like, those are Megatron plays, man. Those are the plays that you like to see those big badass receivers make. Plaxico used to make some plays like that for us. Sammy Coates used to make some plays. The other guy, I always get his name messed up. He's got the longer name that was out there. He was really good for a couple years. I know you like the guy, man. What was his name? What was it? Craig. He was the other tall, fast receiver that we had for a little bit. Martavis.
I was saying Martavis Bryant.
That's it. Yeah. Those guys could go up and get that football, and that's what Ben likes.
Yeah, Bryant was different. And to be fair, I know Claypool had that one go right off his mask earlier. Probably should have been caught. Would have moved the sticks.
Yeah.
I feel like it's every 50-50. Like I feel like he misses one, he's going to get the next one. Like I always kind of feel like that with him. And he's proven that. So, and he's good. Again, it was great to see him out there and healthy this week. Hopefully Washington, again, another groin. Jeez Louise, Washington, Bush. Like, what is up with the training facility here? What's up with the training guys here? Ravens with the knee injuries. Steelers with groin injuries all over the place. What is going on in Pittsburgh? Can we figure out the groin problem? Like, I'll donate mine. Like, please take it. Like, I'm tired of all these groin injuries with these guys.
Well, we just need to hire the appropriate trainers to come in and handle all these groins. I mean, Stormy Daniels may be available. I'm not sure. Get her in here. To help out this team. Get those groins back in shape. But I digress. But this is the thing that's crazy. It's like we've had a receiver miss a game every game for the last couple weeks. This game, it's Washington. Last game was Deontay Johnson. Did he miss that previous game?
No, it was Claypool.
Claypool missed the previous. Then it was Deontay Johnson that missed that previous one, and now it's going to be Juju Smith-Schuster that's going to miss this upcoming week probably. I'm not with his as much wincing that he was showing on the sideline. It's something. It's something as opposed to nothing. So we'll have to see how severe it is, but that's just what we're starting to expect. But at least the one thing with the groin injuries with these receivers, they've only been out a week, and that's the way it seems to have been rotating. Like TJ missed a week with his.
Bush and Hayden missed a week.
Yeah. Claypool missed a week. Both Watt and Highsmith missed a week. Unfortunately, it's the same groin, same week. So you don't know what these guys are doing. Yeah, that's why when Najee went down, I'm like, oh shit, don't tell me it's a groin.
Yeah, I saw you post. I'm like, oh my gosh, stop it. It's just weird seeing Bush with the groin again. I know that's him and Joe Hayden missed that week. I think it was week 2 against the Raiders, and they both had groin injuries. So hopefully this figures out. You know who played well? I know we were talking about that's why we're asking if anything was wrong with Bush. Spillane played well today, to be fair. So
Spillane played his ass off in the game that he played for Bush the last time Bush was missing a game.
Yeah.
I thought Spillane was the only player that even showed up on defense that game. And that's why I didn't want Bush rushed back. So Bush is one of those players like before when we'd lose like that super athletic middle linebacker, we were fucked. It's like Shazier goes down, Bush goes down, there goes our season. We have nobody until we got Spillane. We had Spillane coming in making plays, and then Spillane got hurt last year, unfortunately. And then we had to try to bring in Williamson and try to do the makeshift thing with whoever we could find. But with, at least now with Bush going down, I know Spillane can back him up. Now we can't let Spillane get hurt, or at least Bush can't be hurt long enough where he can't come back and return to contribute at a high level. And Ben Brown here states too, wait, nobody wants to replace Ben now? I love that. Yep, that not too many people talking about how bad Ben is. I don't even think it would have been fair this game if Denver would have came back and found a way to win it. I wouldn't have even put this game on Ben for being the problem. It would have been a defensive breakdown at that point because the Steelers' offense actually freaking clicked for once this year.
Yeah, I don't disagree. He made the throws that he had to. Again, this is what I want. I don't need any spectacular throws, and he did have a spectacular throw. That throw to Johnson, that first touchdown, was a great ball.
Right,
it was a perfect throw.
Yeah, it was.
And same thing like you said, that ball to Claypool, put in a spot where no one's going to get it, and if Claypool doesn't catch it, it's not going to hurt anyone.
And those were the balls he was missing last week. He was missing those balls last week. He hit them this week, and that's the difference in the game. Because if he hit those plays last week, we probably win that game. We have a better chance of winning that game. If the referees didn't hose us on that fucking field goal, we would have won that game. That would have been better. But no. Yeah. And another good point here too. To the Steelers, please just put teams away. Do they have to take 2 years off my life even when they win? I know that's the MO, but that's the way that the rules are written. The rules are written for offense. You got 4 downs, and when you have 4 downs, you're playing the game differently. It's a different game because they know they can take more risks. They know that they can now attack across the middle of the field to set up their 3-4 down to get their 2 downs to use 3rd down and 4th down to get those short conversions. So it is what it is, and you got to give your hats off to Denver and Bridgewater for being able to execute and keep those games close and keep themselves in the game at that point. But yeah, the thing that sucks is just the rules are made to make offense, which seems unfair the way that we've been playing offense this year.
Yeah, again, I don't disagree with Brian there, but that's just how it is. That's really kind of how it is. That's the Steelers' way, like you said. It's what they do. Me and my dad said, I'm like, we can't have a game where we're like sitting there like, oh, awesome. You usually get like 1 or 2 a season where you're like sitting back like, awesome, blowout, cool. Get my chips and queso, whatever you're gonna eat. You don't have to stress eat or whatever. But
or stress
it's what they do. To be honest, yeah. I mean, to be fair, they actually played surprisingly good defense on that little run there. I know Tim Patrick had that ball over the middle. That was a big chunk play. That happens. Because you're gonna give up the big play. Just don't get beat deep. The middle field's open. That's kind of the no timeouts. That's what happens. They'd rather give up the big chunk play and lose 20 seconds. The killer was that play to number 8 or 9, the guy that played quarterback last season for the Broncos in that COVID game.
Yeah. The one that killed us.
He had a good game for the Broncos.
The COVID game.
Nice
yes.
Yeah, that COVID game, he played quarterback, and that was awful game for the Broncos. But yeah, he had a nice touchdown, and that catch was huge for them. That was the breakdown in the defense. You saw Joe Schobert running back. I don't know what happened there. And to be fair, I thought this was his best game as a Steeler. I don't know if you noticed that. I thought Joe was all over the field for the Steelers.
I thought
Schobert was great.
Making plays in the backfield, coming down, hitting the holes hard. He's starting to see the game. I think it's starting to slow down for him in his role. He's getting comfortable with his role in this defense because he doesn't have to be the guy like we talked about before. In Jacksonville, he had to be the guy, and he was calling all the plays as the guy. But this time, he just needs to come in and make his plays and read his side of the field the way he needs to read his side of the field. Now he looks like he's a lot more comfortable. Homer Simpson's asking us, can we draft Kenny Big Arm Pickett? What do you see with that, Cole? I have no idea for sure. I don't follow the draft till I get close to it, and then I just stay on the air for 3 days.
Yeah, I believe that's the Pitt quarterback, if I'm correct on this one. He's played good. I saw a lot of his throws this past weekend. He made some plays. I think Tomlin said this week or something came up where Tomlin said if Ben does retire, which we'll see what happens, especially how far the Steelers make it and how the season goes. He said he wants a veteran quarterback, which I mean, I kind of expect. It's a win now team. That's kind of what my whole conversation has been with Aaron Rodgers coming to Pittsburgh. It's a win now team. They have a legit defense with their stars or young players locked up. They have weapons all over the offense, a legit running back in Najee Harris, legit weapons, and you use your first-round draft pick on an offensive lineman. And the line's gotten better, so it's only going to get better going into next season. They played again great today. Last week they played good, and this week they were even better. So that's what makes sense. But I don't know how the Steelers go if they go young quarterback or not in the draft. If they keep Haskins, see how that project works out another year or two and see what happens with him.
I think it depends on the way that the draft is, because like when they got Roethlisberger, the draft was pretty thick. Those top three quarterbacks, all three of them became franchise stars. All three of them were legit decade plus long quarterbacks to wrap your team around. And I'm hoping there's another thick. Is this going to be a thick drafting year for us? Because last year seemed like it was pretty thick with the amount of good quarterbacks in the last year's draft. So you don't know who's going to slide, who's going to fall, who you're going to be able to pick up, especially if it's going to be the guy that you really want. And that's what you have to have when you're the Steelers. Steelers are going to do it right. If this isn't the year to get that guy, or if this isn't the year where they think that they can get that quarterback that they need, or that they think is going to be their franchise guy, maybe they do take a run at a vet. Maybe they do try to pull in Aaron Rodgers, because like you've been saying, Colton, it's a win now mentality. This defense is set and has playmakers all over the ball on offense. Bring in another tight end, draft another tight end, and you are thick as all hell. And I wanted to note that too. We were playing Gentry and Freiermuth on two tight end sets. Every single two tight end sets, and it was finally the right personnel move to make. Get Eric Ebron off the damn field when we have running plays, because he is not a running. He can't block. The guy couldn't block a freaking Pop Warner kid coming in on a safety blitz. I swear, the guy just does not want to hit anybody. But
that's what's good with Matt Canada's play call as well. Because you don't want to give away that Ebron's not on the field and two tight ends. Clearly, Ebron at this rate, I don't even know if he's better, but Ebron made some catches today. Ebron's clearly a better overall tight end than Zach Gentry, especially catching ability and the way to get down the field the way Ebron can. But the way that Matt Canada threw that wrinkle in with the screen to Zach Gentry, showing that, hey, he may come in just for running plays, but guess what? He's going to catch the ball as well. And he did. And he got a 13-yard gain on a tight end screen, which you saw Heath Miller do a lot for the Steelers. So that was nice to get him involved and not just show the cards like, oh, yeah, it was Gentry's on the field, send the house on a run play, because that's what the Steelers are going to do. They're going to run the ball. He's on the field. And they proved otherwise. So that's where I liked the play call today. I thought it was better. I thought it was one of the better overall games. Clearly, it resulted in a win. I was very happy with the way the Steelers played and play called the game.
Yeah. And the Steelers were executing very well. Their blocking got a lot better, not a lot of mistakes to bring back plays that were good plays. It was just, finally a fun game to watch offensively, because we've been biting our nails seems like the last half a year with the first 5 games here and the last 5 games last year in the playoff game. And we really haven't seen offense, except for when Ben was trying to bring the team back. We put up a lot of points there in the playoffs once we got down by 28 points. But yeah, Homer Simpson's hoping to have Aaron Rodgers come in here with Kenny Pickett as his backup. It doesn't really matter who your backup is when you have Aaron Rodgers, but he's always that kind of quarterback though. When you put a quarterback behind him, he's looking over his shoulder. Right? Well, why'd you pick up that Love guy? Why'd you bring that guy in here? I'm here. I'm fine. But funny enough, that's exactly the same way that Brett Favre treated his ass when he was drafted. Exact same fucking way.
Yeah.
So turnabout third play.
Yeah, it's interesting. I know Job and I were talking about it when we were talking about the Steelers' future. If they do bring in Rodgers, and it's like you still can technically draft a quarterback if you want. I personally wouldn't, because what was the point of bringing Haskins in then? Like, I wouldn't understand drafting a guy when Haskins is kind of still rookie for, like, if you think about it. Yeah. But yeah, Browns touchdown. They're now up 10-7. Rashad Higgins. But yeah, it's just again, this was a nice win. This gets the season back on track. A banged up Seattle team coming in. They have an opportunity here, especially going in the bye. Stephon Tuitt sighted at the Steelers facility this weekend.
That's big.
Been practicing. Yep. Banner's been practicing. So
Banner has to come back this week. Yep. Yeah, so you're
I know you and Ben are close. So I know that's exciting to hopefully see him back on the line here. Just getting healthier, which is huge for them, and guys that are impact players. Like I said, I've said it a lot, and I've never been excited for a guy like. Why are you excited for a backup running back like Anthony McFarland? I think Anthony McFarland
right.
can bring something really special to this offense.
Yeah.
So instead of running a Juju end around or Claypool, you can run it with what's his name, Anthony McFarland. So I think they have some moves with him, especially.
Or you start faking it and have him run up the other side. And now you're like, wait, they have another speed guy? Where'd he come from?
Yeah, again, that's what I'm saying. It's just another wrinkle for this offense. It's another toy where it's like, I get Najee's getting all these catches, and that's good because he's explosive like that. Put him on a linebacker, and he's just going to make a miss. But it also takes the wear and tear off of him getting Anthony McFarland the ball on plays like that.
Nice. So what draft? We're talking draft? I like that, Brian Brown. The Steelers are trying to make the playoffs and win the Super Bowl, aren't they? The draft is irrelevant right now. Yes, I agree. It is irrelevant, but we're fans. We can talk about crap. We can talk about crap, and we can also do crap emojis. I do like this crap emoji here. The craps can kiss it. Nice, Brian Brown. Touchdown Chargers. They just score again? Dang, that was quick.
Yeah, Mike Williams, 72-yard bomb. The week I don't start Mike Williams, he decides to score. I started him last week because I already had to win him. He's been the better fantasy receiver than Keenan Allen. I'm like, I'll start him this week, see what happens. He did nothing. So in the week again, I don't start him. He scores. So go figure. I cannot figure out the Chargers receivers in fantasy, but yeah, they are up. They just scored.
And I'll say one thing too with this new rushing attack. I am surprised that Ben's numbers really increased as far as for the depth of his completions. We're talking about like nearly 17 yards per completion, 16.87 yards. With 15 for 25 on his attempts, 253 yards, 2 touchdowns. It looks like throwing less and having that running back who's 23 carries for 122 yards, 5.3 yard average there for Najee Harris. That helped him out significantly. And the thing that was really jumping off to me was like looking at the receiver, the receptions versus their yardage, because Chase Claypool got 130 yards on 5 catches. That's about what we expect out of Chase Claypool, right around 20, 25 yards a catch. But this was probably closer to 30 yards. And then Deontay Johnson, the guy that we're used to getting like 3, 4, 5 yards a catch, 2 catches for 72 yards. Dude was stretching the field today. Absolutely stretching the field. And then you come back down to the other, which are normally the dink and dunk guys. Najee Harris, 2 catches for 20 yards. That's a 10-yard average. Zach Gentry, 1 catch for 13. Eric Ebron, 2 catches for 10. That's a 5-yard average. That's more like what we usually get. And then 2 for 7 for Freiermuth and 1 for 1 for McLeod, which are more of the dump down routes. But just from Deontay Johnson's numbers alone, this was just a different type of game that Ben Roethlisberger had to play today.
Yeah, it was definitely different. You usually see his targets up around 12 targets a game for Deontay Johnson,
right.
Only 2.
Yeah.
But to be fair, we've always talked about this. We talked about it a lot last season. When the Steelers look good and Ben looks really good is when Ben's in that, what did he throw today? 25 times. When he's in that 25 to 32, pushing 33 is where they look good. And Ben looks the best instead of having him throw 40-something times. Right. If you're throwing 40-something times, the defense is just pinning their ears back, and they're going to get you every single time. So, it's just, again, it was a great balance. Balance is a key word here when it comes to the Steelers offense, and they had it today, and that's why they won the game at the end of the day, I believe. 2
big booming punts, too, from Presley Harvin III today, averaging just under 60 yards on those 2 kicks. 2 punts for 59.5, average 63 long. Good to see him be able to get out there and just extend the leg and kill it, and fortunately be able to keep contact with it with nobody running into him like he did last week.
Yeah, I thought Boswell was huge too. It was an overall great game. Special teams, defense, offense. I thought it was a complete game on everyone's standpoint here, and I thought the guys did a great job, and they got a win for it. So I'm really happy for them. And it was a win they needed. It was a must win. It really was.
Yeah.
And they got it. They can win next week, hopefully at home against Geno Smith and Seahawks. And it's the same plan of attack, to be honest with you.
Right.
Run the ball. You can run it down Seattle's throat. Hopefully Harris is healthy enough. We'll see on that, how healthy he is this week. Again, Tomlinism. We'll let the practice show his availability. It's good to be in the winning side. And I know past few weeks it's kind of been, oh my gosh, we got to look off season. What the heck's going on with Ben? It was nice to talk good about the Hall of Fame quarterback and Ben and the way he played and the team overall. It looked great. I'm really happy for them. Hopefully Juju's okay. We got some good news injury-wise to add on top of a good day.
And is Noah Fant their starting tight end?
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but and so Steeler Nation, I mean, we're looking at him again being held 3 catches for 20 yards. I mean, we've seen some really good tight ends this season, and our defense is in charge of 2 things, or supposed to be in charge of 2 things: stopping the run, number 1, and trying to figure out a way to stop the opposing athletic tight end, which we've just finally started doing. I know sometimes we'd have Minka on people, sometimes we'd switch down, put Edmonds on somebody, put an athletic linebacker like Schobert on them. But it's nice to be able, or even like a slot receiver. But usually, tight ends just burn and eat up slot receivers because they're usually a lot smaller than them. Or slot corners. I keep saying slot corners. So, this is at least a good trend to see as a Steeler fan, and something that keeps me hopeful, moving forward. Ben Brown stating too, good news, the Steelers are on primetime next week. Bad news is we have to listen to Chris Collinsworth. Yeah, Geno Smith is still in the league. Jeez, yeah, look at that. Then again, so is Tom Brady. Ugh. We're the reason why Tom Brady's in the league, by the way. If we just didn't knock out Drew Bledsoe, we might have ended up winning that game. They might have won less Super Bowls. He might not have ever gotten a start. Who knows?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, good job by the Jets giving Tom Brady that opportunity. Good job, Jets, knocking out Bledsoe.
Well, that was us in the playoff game. We did it in the playoff game because Bledsoe was in 2001 playoffs. Bledsoe was the starter.
No, you sure?
No, for a fact. No, for a fact. I watched the game. I can look it up here too, since I got the football research tab. Team history is on the Steelers, 2001, the 13-3 season, where we lose in New England at home. That's the 24-17 game. Because passing wise, Bledsoe was 10 for 21 for 102 yards before he came out for Brady, who was 12 for 18 for 115 yards.
Yeah. Mo Lewis knocked out Bledsoe late in the game when they were leading, and Brady debuted, and that's kind of where that whole thing started.
Yes. Yeah. So we're the reason why we always get our asses kicked by Brady. Which sucks. Did he get hurt today? That's the only thing I'm rooting for right now with the Buccaneers. Did Tom Brady get hurt today?
No, he didn't. He didn't get hurt. No.
Yeah. Homer remembers it. Remember watching that game. I have a family from New England. Hear about it all the time. Those guys. Ugh. Yeah, screw those chowder eaters. Chowder. I know about that. Who cow draft? Oh, that Rothel something. I did like that commercial. That was a good commercial. Back when we were figuring out how to win Super Bowls. And we had a good run there. We had a good run between 2003 and 2000, or 2004 and 2010. That was a real good run. Brady gets it too. Like it.
Yeah, Brady's pretty good, man. You guys pretty.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, as much as I hate the guy, I mean, I still can't doubt the fact that he's the GOAT. I mean, he's been in 10 Super Bowls, won 7 of them. I mean, it's like, after a while, cheating only gets you so far. I mean, I think the cheating was a help in his first 3, possibly his last 3 as well, when they found them taping the Bengals again. But I don't think they're taping down there in Buccaneers. I don't think that's something that Bruce Arians would do. I just don't think it is. I think he has.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
No, he's more worried about that bomb strapped to his chest, Bruce Arians. So and his whiskey and whatever else that man drinks.
Big drinker, is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Bruce Arians, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's all that dude talks about is drinking. Big cocktail guy he is.
See, well, I don't know about that. I don't know if it's financial too, Homer Simpson. We all know the Steelers are going to pay money for a good quarterback, so they better go draft one. Yeah, I mean, eventually they're going to draft one, but if the opportunity, I think, would come to get Aaron Rodgers next year, I think you could actually put the drafting the franchise quarterback plans on hold and just keep making sure that you have, good players around you. You're restocking the offensive and defensive lines. Because now, I mean, we really got to start restocking both. Like, we don't have a nose with Alualu going down. We really didn't address it in the draft. But, I mean, we did have Carlos Davis and Buggs ready to go into the season to provide some good backup. But Davis has been out all year, hurt since the first game. Buggs looked pretty good today. Mondu
said that.
coming in.
Boy.
He's like my favorite guy on the line. I just love that big number 99 coming through. Like, oh, Mondu. Hey, diving down, grabbing that ankle, ripping him down to the ground. That was actually a pretty athletic sack by a monster of a man.
Yeah, it was a good play. Loudermilk had a sack too. I know that was taken away because there was a hold, and they'd clearly take the 10. So the guys are all contributing. And the way I think about it, imagine adding to it into this, which means Worm is going to come in certain situations where he's going to be fresh, unlike playing, almost every down, and Buggs. But if Buggs can figure out consistency, they got their guy. Buggs looks really good when he's consistent, and he does make big plays at times. He made a huge play against the Ravens last year. Consistency is his thing. If you can figure that out at some point in his career, he's gonna be great. He's gonna be a starter for a long time if he can figure that out.
Yeah, because he's in his third year, I believe. Yeah, because we got Carlos Davis last year, which would have been Buggs' second year last year. So I think he's in his third year. So, yeah, so I think the light's starting to turn on for him, and that it should be. I mean, honestly, Carlos Davis was ahead of him in the depth chart before Davis got hurt. So, he's making the most of his opportunities, and maybe when Davis comes back, it might create a situation where he can't get on the field. I mean, but at least, you've got a lot of good defensive linemen that are young, like Loudermilk that we're talking about, Mondu that we're talking about, Davis when he gets back. And then we still have, we haven't even touched on Wormley, who's just been sitting there for Tuitt all year, just doing a great job on the left side. And I watched him today. I'm like, he's doing a good job of locking down that side, more so than I would have thought when Tuitt went down.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting when Tuitt comes back, whenever that time is. I'm thinking after the bye, hopefully. Let's see what happens as far as that goes. But it's going to make what are they going to do? They're going to have to cut someone, or can you afford putting Loudermilk on the practice squad without him getting swooped up? Because you saw how that went for Roche. Yeah. So who are you cutting? And Mondu made a play today.
Yeah.
Is Carlos Davis the odd man out here? I know he was ahead, or are you going to give him an opportunity? And Buggs is gone. So there's no way to keep all those guys dressed.
No.
When Tuitt comes back, there's no way they're keeping that many linemen. There's no way.
Somebody has to leave. And it's probably going to be Mondu, unfortunately. That's because he's just the guy that they tend to assign. But every time he's on the team, they put him everywhere. They put him all over the positions, all three positions on defensive line. They put him on all the special teams. Hell, they'll throw him out at fullback when they ever decide to use the fullback and utilize him there as well. So, yeah. So, and I had this question up, too, from Brian Brown. Can the Steelers afford Rodgers and Minka next year? Right now, yes. Right now, they've got a ton of money under the cap, and I'll look up the specifics.
And then add 11 on to that number, by the way. So whenever you see that number for next year, add 11 million on because they haven't spent it this year. So that's going to carry over.
Yeah, for carryover number. Okay, so I'm moving right now to the 2022 numbers and the current, and we'll update this to see the current situation.
Apparently Joe Burrow taken to the hospital.
Oh, no crap.
Throat contusion.
Joe. Oh, my gosh, that sucks. So right now, Steelers are just barely under $50 million in cap space. $50 million in cap space for next year. Already signed in TJ Watt to forever.
And did you add that 11? Did you add the 11 onto that number?
That's before. So they're looking over $60 million for next year. So yes, can they afford Can they afford Rodgers and Minka? Yes. Yes, they can. Easily, actually. And they can afford Juju Smith-Schuster should they want to bring him back. But honestly, the way that we're utilizing Juju Smith-Schuster, I don't know if it makes financial sense to bring him back, to tell you the truth. I love the guy. I think he makes all the tough catches, but they have to figure out a way to get more bang for the buck, find a way to get him more touchdowns, find a way to get him, at least involved at moving the chains a little bit better, because he's just getting his butt kicked in the middle right now. He really is. Like he's getting pounded, and as a result, his production is going to drop because of it.
Yeah, I think they keep him personally, because who are you going to put in there as a possession receiver? You need a possession receiver. They don't have one.
Well, DJ's their possession receiver, but as far as for slot,
yeah.
Because I thought for sure it's like, okay, DJ goes down, they're going to move Juju to possession receiver at the X spot because Steelers need a guy that can effing catch. But no, they threw Washington there, and Washington looked like a shithead out there trying to run X routes. When Washington came in for Claypool and he was running his Z routes, he looked great, and that was last week. He looked great last week, and because he's running his natural position, he's stretching the field, and he's running in a way that he's not going to be looked at to get the ball every down like you do at the X side. So they're different types of receiver routes and they're different types of players, but with the with Juju at least, he's a luxury. He's a big slot. Like big slots are actually kind of rare. Usually your slot receiver is a little bit smaller and quicker.
Like Tyler Boyd.
Right, and they're cheaper too. So like you can usually bring in like a great slot receiver for $5 million a year. Now you don't have to pay $15 million for a slot receiver, and that's about the range. 12 to 15 is probably what he's going to be looking for.
Yeah, he also loves Pittsburgh, man. I don't know if the Steelers like, all right, we'll up you to like 8 or 9. Figure you also got to look at the numbers that he was offered in free agency. He was looking at 8 or 9 a season. So I think if the Steelers can offer him like 8, 9, they might be able to bring him back in and keep him for a long-term deal, because I think the Steelers want to. But we'll see. We'll see what they do with him. I would love to keep him, but again, certain price tag. I'm not giving him over $11 million. I love him, but he's not worth over $11 million. That's easily Deontay Johnson. That's Deontay Johnson money.
Yeah. I want to pay Deontay Johnson, to tell you the truth. That's especially the way he's playing this year. We're starting to get our money for him because he's not putting the ball on the ground. He's making the tough catches, and now he's extended the field. Like now he's making the slant and go plays. Like he's playing like AB used to play a little bit, dare I say.
Oh man, that last drive there where they needed that big completion, they went to Johnson. Right. My God, I'm like, holy crap! I'm looking at my dad. I'm like, boom, man.
Yeah,
like, it looks like AB all over again, man. He was so twitchy inside, like just cutting through everyone. I'm like, dude, he looks great. He's good, man. We talked about how good this kid is going to be the past few seasons. Like that, the sky's the limit for this kid, and we're starting to see it. The drops aren't there. I know Pro Football Focus has kind of dropped it out there a ton the past few weeks. Like Deontay Johnson, 40 targets, whatever, 0 drops. It's like
0 drops. You can learn it. Because I was telling you, coming into the league, he's got great hand positioning. He just had to learn to get his hands soft. And that's
but the thing was, I think last year he was just asked to do too much.
He was.
I think it was a lot of run after the catch at the line of scrimmage. So it's not even like he's
and the ball was coming out so quickly too. Yeah,
and he's looking to do something after he catches the ball. He's already like getting his eyes off the ball as he's trying to figure out where he's going to dart to try to get some yardage. So we'll see. The Steelers draft receivers really well, so that also might be where they go in the draft. Might go younger because it also saves them money. You don't have to pay a receiver when you're drafting them. So, and they usually don't do it in the first round. So they'll get a guy. I mean, Deontay Johnson, third round pick? I think he was second, wasn't he? I'm trying to think. He might have been a third round pick out of Toledo. I think I might have been third.
Johnson was a third round. It was because we got a third.
Claypool was second.
We got a third and a fifth for Antonio Brown. It was one of the picks that we got for Antonio Brown from the Raiders. So that was funny that we got his replacement with his pick. So
and he's been great, man. And like I said, that first year he didn't really drop the ball. It was this last year that was very obvious of the drops. But I think it was more of what he was. You haven't really seen anything what he was doing last year. You don't really see any drag routes or anything where he's catching it at the line and looking to do too much. That's not what the Steelers are asking him to do. and that's the correct move. His rookie year, he led the NFL in separation. He's literally one of the best route runners in the game. He's going to get open. Yeah. So let him do his thing. Don't waste his talent up at the line of scrimmage with just a drop back and like try to have him do something after the catch. I get he's that explosive. That should be Ray McCloud. If you're going to try to use that role, that's Ray McCloud. He's a punt returner and he's elusive like that for a reason. Or Anthony McFarland when he gets back. That's not a Deontay Johnson role. Deontay is one of the best route runners in the game. Get him out. Let him get open because he will get open.
Yeah. Did you say Bengals quarterback has a scratchy throat? Good one, Ben. Good one, Brian. Good one, BB. And last question of the day here. Cut Juju, draft Jordan Addison, most touchdowns in the country. You know, I think he's probably going to go pretty high if he's going to be leading the country in touchdowns. But you never know. You never know how the draft is going to shake out. We don't know till we get closer to it, obviously. But
yeah, I trust the Steelers when it comes to drafting receivers. I let them do their thing. They draft receivers. Everyone's like, you can't draft Claypool. He's too big. He's gonna be a tight end. Yeah, okay. How's that worked out in the NFL? I think you all missed Chase Claypool. So good job, all of you.
Yeah, and the crazy thing, I think it was like 13 receivers that went before him. You go do that draft again, maybe one or two go before him. Maybe. And that depends on what you want.
They draft receivers. Like, same thing. Deontay Johnson at Toledo. I'm like, everyone's asking, like, yo, what do you think? I'm like, it's a small school. I never really watched them. I watched college football, but I'm not watching small schools like Toledo. And I was watching tape. I'm like, he's very twitchy. The guy gets open. I'm like, and I trust the Steelers. I mean, look at all their draft picks. Other than James Washington, who hasn't been bad. It hasn't been as bad as N'Keal Harry for New England, and that was a first-round draft pick. So I trust the Steelers drafting receivers. That's a little what they do best. So.
Yep. Gotta go, guys. Hey, we're going too. Thanks a lot for chiming in there, Brian. Thank you, Homer. Thank you, everybody who's been joining in on the show. I know it's been a lot of fun, at least Gabe as well. Talking football here at the end of the game. I'm going to be back tomorrow at 3 o'clock on Colorcast. So if you have an iPhone or an iPad, download the free Colorcast app. We're giving away club seats to the next Steeler game on that show. So come on over and join us. And I think we're doing it on Twitter too for the giveaways. So check out Twitter. We're going to announce the winner on the show tomorrow at 3 p.m. on Colorcast. And you got a podcast coming up this week too, Colton?
Yeah. What's it called? I do Play Action Podcast. We're actually making some nice moves here. We're growing into a nice network here. So we're excited for that. Our shows are every Wednesday, and we do a pregame show Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Having Dean Blandino on the show this week. So I know there's been a lot of conversation with the NFL and officiating this year. So excited to talk to Dean again and see what his thoughts are with the taunting rule and the offsides penalty. Can't wait to ask him about that one. So excited for that.
Nice. Well, thanks again too. I appreciate it and appreciate you guys too, Steeler fans. Fortunately, we got to talk about a win this week as opposed to a loss. So, at least until tomorrow at 3 p.m., I'll be enjoying this win and fortunately rooting along with all of you, as always,